Hey everyone, welcome back. My name is Jessica if you're new here. If you like home decor and DIYs on a budget, make sure to stick around by hitting the subscribe button and ringing the bell for notifications. Today I have 5 Dollar Tree Halloween DIYs for you. I've also included 2 free printables that I made down below in the description box for a couple of the DIYs, so let's get started. For this first DIY, I'm going to be using some of this brown craft paper from Dollar Tree. I just rolled it out, and I rolled it out pretty long. I didn't measure, unfortunately, but I rolled it enough so that way I could roll each end up a few times. So it's up to you and up to your discretion how big you want your sign to be. I just cut out the piece, and then I'm going to use these big giant skewers. They came from Dollar Tree back in the summertime. They don't have them now, at least at my Dollar Tree, but I'm sure that you can go to Home Depot or Lowe's and get wooden dowels that are $1 or two for this project to use for this part. So you just want to lay the wooden skewers on each end of the paper and then hot glue it and roll it a few times on each end. And then to decorate the paper and make a piece of art, I am going to use this jack-o'-lantern felt pumpkin from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to use that as my stencil to trace it out. And then I decided to add a little bit of extra detail to the pumpkin. So I just went through and I lightly drew the lines on the pumpkin, and then I drew the stem out a little bit, and I drew the little curly cues from the stems, and I just used a black Sharpie to do all of this, and then I just defined the lines when I went back after I got it the way I liked it. It's not perfect. I'm not an artist. I'm sure a lot of you could do a much better job on putting details on this pumpkin, but I did my best. And then I wanted to add some lettering to this sign and say Happy Halloween. So I got these stencils off of Amazon a long time ago. I've used them for many projects. They are reusable plastic stencils, and they have uppercase and lowercase cursive letters that you can connect all of them together as you are stenciling everything in. So that is what I'm using. I will link them down below in the description box if anybody's interested in these stencils. Like I said, I've used them for multiple projects, so they've come in handy. And then the last thing I decided to do to decorate this was to connect one of the little curly cues to the Y on the happy. And then to hang this, I'm just going to use a piece of twine and tie knots on each end of the dowel that I have, or the skewer that I used, and that was it. This next DIY is super easy. It involves an 8x10 canvas with a frame from Dollar Tree. I just used an X-Acto knife to score the back of the canvas to detach it. And I actually did something similar like this for a fall DIY this year, so this might look familiar to you guys. But it's really easy to print on these canvases with a regular printer. So what I did was, after I got the canvas removed from the frame, there is a crease from where the canvas is wrapped around the frame. You just want to cut that crease off, so that way when you lay the canvas in your printer, it is smooth and it goes through easily. And then what I did was I took the frame and I just used some American walnut stain to stain it. And while that dries, I am going to just insert my canvas into my printer and print out my printable, which I created. You can get this for yourself with the link down below in the description box, and you can print it out for your DIY. And then I just lined it up on my canvas. Mine printed a little crooked just because I put the canvas in a little bit crooked in my printer, but typically it comes out pretty straight as long as you are paying attention. And then I just cut the excess canvas off after I hot glued it down to my frame, and that was it. This DIY is also super easy. I just picked up one of these black picture frames from Dollar Tree, and I made a free printable for you guys. You can print this off. It is linked down below in the description box, and it is a countdown for Halloween. So I just printed it off on regular paper. You could use cardstock or whatever you have, and then I put it in the frame. And then the best part about it is you can write on the glass with some dry erase markers, or I used a liquid chalk marker, but I always end up losing the markers or misplacing them whenever I have something like this. So I decided I'm going to dress it up a little bit with a little bit of this white and orange twine. I just wrapped it around the logo there and hot glued it, and then I just used a little bit of that twine and tied it on the cap at the top, and then I'm going to hot glue that onto the back of the picture frame, so that way I always know where my marker is and I don't lose it. And then I can just erase the number every day and rewrite it. And it's easy as that. I have a cute little Halloween countdown sign to get ready for Halloween. For this next DIY, I'm going to use one of these glass vases from Dollar Tree and some of these skull heads from Dollar Tree. I actually ended up using 3 packages of them. There's 8 in a package. And basically what I did was I just layered them from the bottom of the vase and hot glued them to the vase and then worked my way up. It gave me 3 layers of skull heads using 3 bags. So if you wanted to do more and cover the whole vase, you could. You would just need a few more bags of the heads to do that. And I hot glued them to the vase, and then I also put a dab of hot glue to the side of each of the heads just to keep everything together. And then once I got everything together, I am going to spray paint it with some black spray paint. This just came from Walmart. And then that's it. I decided to put some pampas grass that I got from Amazon in it, and I think it looks really chic for Halloween. For this last DIY, I'm going to use one of these carvable pumpkins from Dollar Tree. I just removed the stem and the tag. I'm not going to use those. And then I used a glass candle holder from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to place it on top of the pumpkin, and I'm going to trace out the circle. And then I just used an X-Acto knife to cut out that circle, and then my glass is going to fit snugly inside my pumpkin. Now I'm going to be making a pumpkin spider candy dish out of this. So I took one of these tinsel spiders from Dollar Tree and I just popped the head and body off of the legs. And now I'm just cleaning up the legs from where it was hot glued on there, just making sure I get up all of the tinsel and the extra hot glue. Now I'm going to go ahead and use the body of the spider. So I just popped the head off of it and then I just unwrapped the tinsel off of it and I cleaned that up as well. So now what I'm going to do is I am just going to hot glue the legs to the bottom of my pumpkin, and with the head I am just going to attach that to the top of my pumpkin with some hot glue. Now, before I painted it, I wanted to kind of take away the styrofoam look to this pumpkin, and I decided to use the tissue paper method. So basically what you do is just use some Mod Podge, paint that on to the surface of the pumpkin, and then you just take some crumpled up tissue paper and lay that on top of the Mod Podge, and then add some more Mod Podge on top of it. And this is supposed to give it an older looking effect, a different type of effect. I just don't like, after I paint these pumpkins, it still looks like a styrofoam pumpkin. So I was trying to cover that up. I did the body and the head, and then I painted it all with that same black spray paint that I painted the last project with. And then I filled it with some candy corn and pumpkins, and it turned out cute. Thank you guys so much for watching today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to give it a thumbs up. Leave me a Halloween word or a Halloween emoji down in the comments below. And I will see you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.